Hey, guys. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome again to my channel. It's your girl, Georgette. And if you're new to me, thank you for visiting. Thank you for stopping. Thank you for watching. So, a little bit about my channel is that all the videos that you will see, I strive to inspire, to motivate, and in doing so, you may just be transformed the very same way that I have transformed my life. And so, guys, if you're watching for the first time, please watch to the end first, then smash the subscribe after. Put your notifications on. I bring you a video daily. Yes, I do. And drop a comment in the comment box. I love to interact with all of you. It puts smiles on my faces when I hear the comments and how the message was timely. The video is amazing. You love it. It has helped you some way or the other, or made you think, or just to think, that was mind provoking. Yeah, and so I smile and I know that I truly am, doing what I love to do and inspiring you. It's just the icing on the cake and motivating you. Okay, so let's get right into it. And this one is something that we all experience this. And I know I used to be affected more than I am now. And it is the fear of failure. The fear of failing. Wow. There was a time when I thought if I failed at something, that's the end. It's like caution, caution, no more trying. But guys, when you fail at something, don't you learn a lesson most of the time or all the time? Whenever something doesn't go the way that you thought it should go, and then at the end of it, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I could have done this way. Then you would have learned a lesson. Too often we allow fear of failure stop us. And even just a simple little thing, I think my daughter fixed her hair another way today. She went out to hang out with her friends and she had her hairstyle and then she fixed it another way. She's like, Mommy, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I could have done it this way. She fixed her hair another way and she didn't know she could have twisted another way and it looked so nice and natural and everything else. And so when one thing fails, if you allow yourself to crumble under the pressure of failure, and I think I heard, Les Brown, he always says, when you fall, just fall forward. So when you think something failed, make sure you're failing forward so that you get back up again and say, oh my gosh, I learned, oh, this happened to me. Even though this didn't work out the way that it should, it's like, oh my gosh, it worked out even better. Yeah? So guys, that's really what I want to talk about because I know for me, I used to fear failing. I used to call myself a perfectionist. But, and I think I did a video a long time ago about when you fear failure, what that does, it cripples you from starting something new, just like a YouTube channel. There was a time when I used to fear criticism. I never wanted to do a video. As much as I love to talk to people and inspire people, I would love to do it face to face, which that's what I've always done. As a fitness trainer, event planner, wedding planner, I come into contact with everybody, and then life coach as well. I became a life coach a year and some ago, a certified life coach. So I like to talk and interact with people face to face. But you saw what happened last year with the COVID, when the COVID started, and so we really had to, everybody got on camera, Zoom calls, Zoom meetings. And so I used to fear criticism. And so that cripples you when you think about the fear of failing at anything. And when I first started doing my channel, I used to want to look as if I'm going to a wedding. Be overly dressed. Some of my first videos, I think I was overly dressed. But then as you practice it, you become so much more comfortable with what you are doing. And so that's why you really cannot fear failing at anything. You will never be great at anything if you don't first start. The thing is, guys, if you're going after great success, and right now in 2021 just begun, and if you're seeking to strive higher and to thrive, if you have set big goals, you're going to fail. At some point, something is going to fail. But guess what that's going to do for you? You're only going to grow. You're only going to learn from that failure. So don't fear failing so much. When we're starting to do something, we want to make sure it's done perfectly and nothing don't go wrong. But guys, if nothing goes wrong, then we really never learn. We really will never learn anything. If everything just goes smooth, oh, how boring would life be? We think, you know what? We think that if everything goes well, that life is juicy. But if something doesn't go wrong, you really don't learn. I have learned so much in business, in my personal life, where I have failed in things, and then I found a better way of doing the very thing that brings me to the same end result. And I'm like, Lord, you have a sense of humor. So what happens is that you take a detour. You take a detour 5 miles down to get back to the very same destination. But in going 5 miles and back, didn't you learn something about yourself, that you became patient, or something you learned along the way while you were on the detour? You see, and so we fear failing at everything we are doing, and then we strive for perfection. And in striving for perfection, you never get started. Yeah, so don't fear failure. The only thing I can say to you, when you're doing anything, and if it fails, and I know that I'm speaking to myself as well, if something fails, you're going to have to take a deep breath and step away. Because I know if you're talking about investing monies and you've lost all your monies, I know you're talking about all sorts of things that you're thinking that that's the end. Take a step away and take a deep breath. Go into meditation. That's what I can say to you. and when you can really step away and look from the outside in, say, oh my gosh, or probably a day or two goes by and you'll say, wow, I should not have, this is how I should have done it. I learned how to do it a simpler way. And you learn a lesson. And so in learning a lesson, it was not a failure. You learned a lesson. Whatever you thought you failed at, you end up at the end of it learning a lesson, learning a better way of doing it, or learning a better way of doing something different. I was watching Joel Osteen the other day. I love Joel Osteen, guys. And he was saying that he had a friend. And his friend is like a hotelier. Is that what you call them? Who owns hotels. And he wanted to, in his career, to like level up. And he wanted to now invest in a real big, large hotel in New York. And for years he worked on that because he owned like small hotels. But then he really wanted to invest in this big hotel. And he worked on that for years with partners, with investors and everybody. And was almost ready to sign. And when he was ready to sign, the partners and the investors, they pulled out on him and said, no, they don't think they want to go through that. And he was so disappointed. And that happened last year, early last year, I think last year, January, right before COVID, the coronavirus hit. And they pulled out on him in January and said, no, they right when they're getting ready to sign the final papers, they said, no, they don't want to, for some reason or the other. Joel Osteen was giving this testimony on his Sunday morning worship. And he said that the gentleman he was so devastated because he said he always wanted to own a big luxury hotel in New York. You know, when you're striving to go higher in your career, in your business, as an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're in, you know, you're striving. You should strive to thrive, and that's where he was just leveling up. I would say just leveling up. And in February or March, COVID hit, and guess what? New York was the place that had the most cases, and everything shut down in New York. All the hotels were down. And he gave the testimony in church that he was risking everything. Is other hotels he was signing them on, his home and everything. He said if that deal had gone through, he would have lost all his other hotels and his home and all that he had prior. Can you imagine? And can you imagine how he felt when he had this big dream of owning this big hotel in New York? And about 2 years prior to that, everything was in the works. And here they were, January 2019, right before coronavirus. And the partners, the investors, they no longer wanted to go through. And he was crushed. And then March, 2 months later, came. And the coronavirus and the COVID-19, whatever, hit. And New York was the place. And now he still has his smaller hotels. He still has his home. And he has all of his other things that he owned, that he was putting everything up for this big hotel. So guys, I just wanted to give that story and that illustration that I understand, because things have happened to me that I don't understand it until after that I was devastated and couldn't fathom why this happened to me. And then months later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so happy that happened. I am so happy. Lord, I thank you that happened. Yes. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of failing. When you are working diligently on a project or something or business or a relationship or whatever it is, and it fails, cry, blood, whatever, take a step back, and you will eventually see, learn a lesson. As it's not so fresh, when it starts to wear off, you will realize the lesson that you learned, and that situation was not good for you. And it's a wonderful thing that it did not work out, as happened to me, guys. And so, guys, I will end with saying, I do hope you got some value. Do not be afraid to try new things. Do not be afraid, guys. That's what will hold you hostage and cripple your growth. It's your girl, Georgette. You may subscribe now if you haven't. Smash it in. Like. Please share the video and put your notifications on. Drop a comment below. I will certainly interact back with you. And I'm going to leave you videos popping up right now. So stay on my channel and keep watching. In the link below, I'm going to leave you a free gift. Grab your free gift. And in the link has a step-by-step guide of how to fight fair. It's your girl, Georgette. I love you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Much love. Mwah.